Για χαρά, ο Χρήστος είμαι. Έλα. Τι γίνεται? Καλά. Φτάσαμε, ναι, γι' αυτό πήραμε να σας πούμε. Κάτσε να πάρω την Εύη.
Πάρε.
Χαίρετε. Από τον Εστράδη.
For as long as I can remember, the minute we touch down on Greek soil, my dad's phone will start to ring.
Καλημερούδι.
He'll answer, and then won't put it down until we're boarding our return flight. The niceties of British society have never seemed to interest him. But in Greece, I've always been surprised by his celebrity. He seems to know anyone and everyone. And they all seem to know and love him too. As the years pass, he reminds me more and more of my grandfather, right down to the way he peels his fruit.
Μια χαρά, κορίτσι μου.
Τι ωραία.
Είναι ωραία. Έλα, πες. Έλα,
Ανοίγει την πόρτα.
Δεν ξέρεις πόσο χαίρομαι που είσαι στο σπίτι μου.
Castoria is the town my grandmother grew up in. It's a leisurely 30-minute drive down the mountain from Nestorio, from the Patrida of my grandfather. It's here that my great-grandmother settled after fleeing the genocide of the Greeks in Asia Minor in the Great Fire of Smyrna in 1922. This is my great-aunt, I think, but the family tree is so complex. Evie. She, just as every other family member I've met a handful of times in my life, welcomed me into her home as if I was her daughter, even her friend. She told us of the riches my great-grandmother left behind in Smyrna, how she fled to Greece, penniless, how she was determined to raise her granddaughters in a Franco-Ottoman grandeur that was slowly falling out of favour. She also told me about her late husband. His paintings furnished her walls. They were really beautiful. Even more beautiful, though, were the photographs that adorned the room. Photographs of her daughter, of soldiers, of uncles, of relatives who lived and died for causes so distant and so strange to me. That evening, we ate dinner with my Aunt Tessie, Evie's sister. I felt the weight of family at that table. Evie's husband's art hugged the walls here, too, alongside Tessie's granddaughters. I was reminded that we are often more alike to our family than we realise. As I watched my father tell stories of my grandfather through low-resolution images on his phone, I thought fondly to a distant version of myself, the one who first picked up a camera as a teenager, one who hadn't known of the wardrobes stuffed with albums and cameras that my dad and granddad had collected over the years.
Γίγαντες Νεστορίου. Φοβερή. Και λάχανο τουρσί μετά και ντομάτα. Μετά θα δείτε τι τραπέζι τρώμε εδώ στο Νεστόριο.
Στο Νεστόριο.
Χωριάτικο.
Χωριάτικο, έτσι μας αρέσει.
Εδώ έχουμε τώρα το μέλι μας, τις πατάτες μας, τα λάδια μας, τα κρασιά μας και το λοιπά. Εδώ πέρα έχουμε το μέλι, που έχουμε το μέλι μας για να κάνουμε, που μαζεύουμε από τις μέλισσές μας. Έχουμε κάνει την ελληνική σημαία, τώρα θα το δείξουμε και αυτό.
Ναι.
Λοιπόν, εδώ έχουμε την ελληνική σημαία, είναι μια κυρίθρα. Και αυτό το πράγμα εδώ είναι από το 1953.
Wow.
Ποιος το έκανε? Ο πατέρας μου, ναι. Αυτή εδώ είναι η κυρίθρα, το πλαίσιο.
Wow.
Το ξύλινο το πλαίσιο. Έβαλε 4 κομμάτια εδώ.
Ναι.
Για να γίνει κενό.
Ναι.
Με πιάνει, με κάμερα.
Ναι.
Γεια σου. Πες μου τι θες να ρώτησέ με κάτι να σου πω.
Πες. Θέλω να κάνεις μια ταινία με τον μπαμπά μου.
Τι έχουμε εδώ, πες μου.
Έχουμε γίγαντες,
Γίγαντες.
Είναι εκεί.
αυγό,
Αυτό στη μασίνα το ψένει. Όχι αυτό.
τυλί,
Τυρί.
ψωμί,
Τι άλλο έχουμε.
τουρσί
Το ψωμί.
και
Όπαπα.
τσελιές.
Christos and Marianthi have lived in Nestorio village all their lives. When I came with my dad to eat lunch with them, they showed me their beans. They showed me their honey. The same honey, I realised, sits in my grandmother's pantry in Thessaloniki. The same honey sits in mine. I don't think I'd ever quite realised where it came from. I like that somehow it had made its way to me. Christos took us to walk along the banks of the local dam. Ruins of monasteries dotted the banks, relics of times past where clergy would go to meditate, to retreat from social life, to have peace.
Εκεί μέσα είναι ένα δωματιάκι μικρό, όπου υπήρχε ένας καλόγερος που προσεύχονταν προς το Θεό. Για νομίζω κλειστά εδώ πέρα.
In the April rain, I felt a similar meditation wash over me as we entered these ruins. In one particular chapel, sand, it was explained to me, had been washed down the side of the mountain and onto the floor by rain. I stood stranded in this church beach and felt, as I often do in Greece, a bit like this sand that had somehow settled, docile, without fuss, in a place it so clearly didn't belong.
Τι σκέφτεσαι.
Ασκητικά. Σκέφτομαι. Σκέφτομαι ότι θέλω να δω τον κόσμο από μακριά, από ψηλά. Πολλές στιγμές.
On the last day of our trip, my father took me on a tour of the house my grandfather grew up in. We had brought the wrong key, so we settled for a walk around the garden that I had last seen as a very young girl. As we walked, he told me of the times he had hosted his friends as teenagers under the shade of the pagoda in the summer, eating and joking with his grandmother. He told me of piles of firewood, of homegrown food, of roasted chestnuts, a scent that never fails to remind me of Dad, and I think never fails to remind him of his own. I remembered there had once been a swing hanging in the doorway, a swing that, in his time, he told me, had simply been made up of some rugs balancing precariously on a rope. It was gone now. Although this garden appeared as it had in my memory, albeit a little smaller than I remembered, I felt a strange sense that I was touring something that had never really been mine. Maybe it's true. Maybe none of it was mine to begin with. Somehow, though, I don't mind ceding ownership to this history, to this memory. It's not mine to remember. It was my family's to live.